So we've been picking through the NFC North, looking at the other rivals' depth charts, and we looked at the Lions and the Bears, and this is it. Tonight is a night of nights. Take a look at the Greasy Grimy Green Bay Packers depth chart, with or without the octogenarian Aaron Rodgers. I still think that he... Actually, I think he's bluffing at this point because a couple weeks ago, I thought that 1,000% he was going to take this thing to the mat, but no, I think he's going to cave. I think he's going to show up and play some what he considers football, the alleged 2020 NFL MVP. But looking at the rest of the roster, so yes, you do have Devontae Adams, who's not as good as Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Also, I want to see how good Devontae Adams would be with Blake Bortles, huh? Ask Allen Robinson what it's like when Blake Bortles is your dude, huh? Yeah, go ahead. Or I do like Jordan Love. But I just can't do it, man. I like Jordan Love in the draft process, the pride of Utah State, but nah. Now, the big issue, well, supposedly the big issue with Rodgers is getting weapons around him. Even though Tanyan is emerging as a top 10 tight end, Devontae Adams, some people think he's a top 10 wide receiver. Some people think he's top 5. For me, I don't know, what, 40? Somewhere in there. So he has a good wide receiver, got a good tight end. What else do you want? Also, you have a good running back behind you in Aaron Jones. What else do you want? But Alan Lazard, the Lizard People, Mojo Rising, no, as a number 2. MVS is probably best suited as a number 4. St. Brown is not as good as his brothers. Malik Taylor. Who else do they have? Oh, Devin Funchess. Yeah, they have Devin Funchess. It's fine. So Devin Funchess opted out as a free agent last year from Carolina, and now he's just buried on the depth chart. Maybe he gets something going. Maybe he is that big-bodied receiver. Could be a go-up-and-get-it type guy. I don't know. Plus, they have Amari Rodgers working from the slot in the third round. Now, I did like Rodgers a lot coming out of Clemson, but I don't know. Plus, as a rookie, picking up the single digits, I understand that's what's going to happen around the league, but nah. Bakhtiari, respect, is one of the best left tackles in the game. He got paid as such, and they are going to have a tough time replacing Corey Linsley. Not one for one in terms of Elton Jenkins sliding over, because Elton Jenkins. So this is what makes the Garrett Bradbury pick that much more frustrating. Is that first round pick 2019, number 18 overall, Elton Jenkins and Eric McCoy were taken later, and they're looking really good with the Packers and the Saints, respectively. Two teams that we hate, obviously. But again, it isn't one for one replacing Corey Linsley, but who's going to take Jenkins' spot? So they do have John Runyon, who was a 6th-round pick last year out of Michigan. Sure. Patrick Lucas now. Billy Turner is now kicking over to right tackle. Pretty Ricky Wagner is gone. So I think they could have a bit of a tough time on the offensive line. They did pick up Josh Myers, who, I don't know, like a diet Pat Elflein coming out of the Ohio State University in the 2nd round. I also pick up Cole Van Landen, who I was whatever. Royce Newman, sure. So they do have some young guys that they're going to have to lean on. But it really is Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins, and everyone else. I understand that Billy Turner is hashtag one of us, NDSU, as well as he's from the cities. But nah. So Robert Tonyan is emerging as one of the better tight ends in the league. He's a great receiver, not so much as a blocker, but that's fine. Indiana State, Sycamores, Larry Bird representing. They do have Mercedes Lewis, who they brought in as a free agent a couple years ago. Jay Sternberg, isn't Jay Sternberger suspended for a couple games? It's possible. And then they got DeGuara, who came in from Cincinnati, who was like a fullback, tight end, H-back type guy. Spending a 3rd-round pick as opposed to a wide receiver in the deepest wide receiver draft in NFL history. I don't know, but that's just me. Aaron Jones got paid. I do like Aaron Jones. He's definitely in a tier below Dalvin Cook. Also, I don't know. Would I put him behind? I put him behind McCaffrey. I guess I'd put him behind Kamara, but we're sort of splitting hairs. I hate both teams. A.J. Dillon, 2nd-round pick last year, was supposed to be that power running back. Sort of was whatever as a rookie. Maybe he gets things going in year 2. He was a reason why they didn't retain Jamal Williams. He's now with the Lions. Plus, they picked up... Oh, so this is a really sneaky pickup. They scam. So they picked up Kylan Hill out of Mississippi State in the 7th round. Now, I really liked him. The Vikings did their due diligence on him in the draft process before they took Nwangu in the 4th round. But I think Kylan Hill sneaky could be a really solid player in a couple of years, both as a receiver as well as a runner. So keep an eye on him. And yes, they do have DeGuara listed as their fullback. Defensively, so, man, this kind of sucks because they picked up a couple of players that I like. So Eric Stokes, I didn't like him in the first round, but they made their move, and Eric Stokes tested out of his mind in the offseason. But I don't even think he was the most talented Georgia cornerback. I would have been fine with Stokes in the second round, but his draft stock just shot up after his pro day. To Daryl Slayton, coming out of Florida, I like a lot as a nose tackle. I think that he has a little bit more giddy up than he's given credit for. I think that he could be a terror. Well, I think he'll work in as a rotational guy behind Kenny Clark for a hot second now, but I think eventually he could be that guy. But up front, they still have the same guys. Kenny Clark is still a stud. Lowry and Lancaster, whatever. Rashawn Gary, can he finally step up? Can he shed that bust label? Huh? Yeah, it is a. So when he came in as a first round pick, he took over 52 after they got rid of Clay Matthews. That was a big deal. That was a big deal amongst Packer fans, but it's funny how they have him listed ahead of Preston Smith, who I think low-key has been playing pretty well. Zadarius Smith, respect, still one of the better edge rushers in the game. He is a problem every single time, but guess what? He doesn't get to play against Riley Reif anymore. Face. Kamal Martin, the former Gopher. I like that he's working his way in there. Chris Barnes. So he got the time of day last year for a hot second. I don't know if he'll hang on to the starting job, but also the guy like Oren Burks is not going to hold on to that. They did bring in Devondre Campbell. Maybe he plays inside as well a little bit. Secondary. So it really does suck. So I do love Jar Alexander. I think that he is sneakily becoming one of the better cornerbacks in the game. I loved him out of Louisville. I just love the attitude. He reminded me so much of Antoine Winfield Jr. Smaller cornerback, scrappy, inside, outside. He will get after you. He will chirp at you, but he can't hang with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. So I'm okay with that. Safety-wise, Darnell Savage. I didn't agree with the pick at the time, but he's panned out okay. Adrian Amos coming over from the Bears a couple years ago. Kevin King, who they somehow, some way re-signed, and I think they gave him like $6 million, which, wow. How? I don't understand that. Then Sullivan working from the slot is fine. Mason Crosby, the ageless one. I mean, can he finally fall off a cliff? I think it will happen. J.K. Scott is a good punter, which is fine because they're going to have to use him quite a bit this year, even if Aaron Rodgers is back, because I don't know. Like, could you say that this team is better than last year? I don't think so. I don't, because the defense largely returns intact. And then up front, they do lose Corey Linsley, who signed with the Chargers, the highest paid center in NFL history now. So I think that there will be some growing pains up front. I think the offensive line, it's Bakhtiari Jenkins, and it is everyone else. So I think there could be some shifting up front. So if Aaron Rodgers doesn't get perfect protection, or if it's Jordan Love or Blake Bortles, it could be tough. It could be rough. Plus, Aaron Jones, if he's not getting that quality blocking up front, because besides Linsley's caliber as a player, just him being a leader, him making the calls up front, like that is a big loss. And I think that Elton Jenkins will certainly be fine with that. He was a college center at Mississippi State. He'll be good to go eventually. But I mean, that is going to take a little bit of time. There is going to be a little bit of a power vacuum. And defensively, they're working in. So they got rid of Pettin. So now they're bringing in Joe Barry, and the 12-year-old boy finally got his guy. So we'll see how they're going to shift up front. Maybe they'll move away from the 3-4. I don't think they'll do that necessarily in one off season, since their personnel is definitely geared towards a 3-4 front. But yeah, we'll see. I understand that the Packers are probably the team that is going to contend with the Vikings for the NFC North. But if the Vikings play up to their potential, I don't think it'll be close. I think the Vikings' floor is 11 wins, even though the national media, Jabroni Haircuts, thinks that that's the ceiling. But no, I think this Packers team maybe tops out at 10 wins, maybe. And that is with Aaron Rodgers, because I think that the schedule, I think that the shifting up front, and I think that the defense aging out just 1 year more is going to hurt them precipitously. And I think the Vikings smack back, pissed off for greatness. Let's go, man. Let's go. But Aaron Rodgers, no Aaron Rodgers, I don't care. You're not making the playoffs, you're not winning the division. Woo! Love it. Your thoughts on our thoughts. A Vikings fan takes a look at the Packers depth chart. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.